Hi everyone. So this might be quite a weird reading altogether. Of course, I already have drawn the cards. That's just how I do it today. Because this is a Mystical Moments Oracle, and I have to look up the meaning in the booklet before I can talk about it. So that's why I kind of draw the cards first, and then I talk about it. Okay, so we have creativity here, and in the booklet it says that means it's the moment for you to embrace your witchiness. Yeah, really. So it's not just about creativity, but it's about that, that crazy spark you have. It kind of says that nobody's really normal. At least, come on, let's embrace it. Not somebody who's watching this kind of videos. And it's just time to embrace your craziness, or your madness, or your being, a little bit odd, and kind of, diverging from the norm, and embracing it and creating through that a new path, a new life. So, and then I followed up with the Rider-Waite-Smith, and the card that is accompanying the creativity card here is the Devil. Isn't that, fitting to the theme? In terms of not bonding or, being addicted or stuck or something like that, but kind of embracing that little bit of offness. Like, when we think about the devil, historically speaking, it's been a creation of Christianity that just turned all the gods that the pagans had before Christianity arrived into devils and demons and all that stuff, and also attached to those goddess and gods. Very negative meaning. And here we go with the devil. That's why I'm saying that the devil is not just a negative, a bad energy. Of course, in a Christian sense, it is. But understanding the history of the creation of the devil as a bad entity, you just understand that it's been a creation of people who tried to make other people believe that their beliefs were wrong. And as for now, I see it as opening yourself up and trying to teach other people, that there's a little bit more than what meets the eye. And it's important to embrace that. It's just important to see that there's stuff that's beyond the norm, and it's still valuable, it's still really good, and it doesn't mean it's bad on its own. Okay, so then we have two cards that just, when I was shuffling, the shuffle wasn't as good as it should be, and these two cards turn out to be quite in the same position. But that is, it's just, I take it as it comes. So here we go with the Empress and with the Five of Wands. So embracing your oddness, your weirdness, your magic, your witchiness is about valuing yourself, valuing and also being ready to defend it in front of other people who are like you, and being ready to fight it, being ready to put in some effort, standing up for yourself, standing up for your beliefs. Although I would say it's not for everyone. You might be in a situation where it's just not the right time to really kind of have that big coming out of, hey, by the way, I'm pretty weird, No, it might be the wrong time to do that. So if you're in a situation where you feel like, your rational sense towards lives tells you that's not the right moment. You're not in a position of, it's just like people don't know you quite as good to estimate how you mean it and stuff like that, so you can really just take your time, make people get to know you, and then you can still have your coming out of weirdness. Also towards that whole coming out, it's like with sexuality. That's a very recent thing to do. I think we had that for 100 years only, where people kind of need to define who they are in terms of whatever your beliefs, your religion. No, religion is long has been there for a long time, but in terms of your sexuality or your spirituality, I'd say. So we are in a time where we don't have any, no one's been telling us how to do it, and it's okay not to do it. It's okay not to define yourself, I think. Of course, towards yourself, maybe it's a good thing to be honest, or to find something that could be described as something like honesty, even though I think not even towards yourself, things are so complicated and complex that sometimes you just can't put a definition to it. You can't say this is how it is. So I think it's a lot about not overthinking the situation, and you don't have to communicate. Of course, you could, if that's the thing for you, if that's your situation where you think, okay, now I actually want to state my ground, I want to tell people who I am, and I know exactly what it is, then that's the situation for you. Tell them, put it out there, see what happens next. But if not, that's totally okay as well. And this is kind of cute here with the King of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. I always considered them to be like the great couple, because, well, I guess they kind of represent some kind of stereotypical thing we see about men and women, like the woman around the house and all the practical stuff, just, having control over that, as the Queen of Pentacles. And the King of Cups, this emotional responsibility, feeling the responsibility towards life and family and whoever's is put in front of them. It needs to be protected. But yeah, what does it have to do with this reading? It's not quite clear to me. It's kind of this they are turned towards each other, and it feels like coming to terms for yourself with who you are and being honest with yourself at first before you go out into the world and tell other people about you. This is something that can really strengthen you and can fill it up. If we see the world as how it is defined now, as being reality of consisting of dualities like male and female, water and earth or fire, day and night, and what else. This is just a little part of reality, right? It's when we focus on it, we do see that. And that's where we live in currently, a world of duality. But it's not the reality. You can see much more than that. It's just when you don't focus on it, it seems rather random. It seems not as essential. But if you would view it more essential than the duality, you would find it much more important, and you would also see it much more, and it have just a very different value in your life. But anyway, the king and the queen here, and because the decks are created in this modernist world where dualities and like very oppositional things reign together, in that case it's kind of fulfilling to have the queen and the king, and the queen of pentacles and the king of cups. It's kind of, joining two forces that are very vital for your life, and will most likely provide you with a lot of motivation and energy to go on. But I think the main message here for me is to stand up for yourself, really, to be there, to value yourself, to understand who you are, maybe communicate it to others, maybe not, really depending on your situation, but definitely acknowledging the power you have, acknowledging that not what other people say is true, but what is deep down within you is truth. And no one knows, no one else can tell. And we constantly pretend in this world we're living right now, we pretend there is a single path, a single truth. And if you don't follow one of those, you're kind of distracted, you're not focused, or whatever. And of course, I want to contradict it. I want to say that's wrong. And here we have creativity. So yeah, embrace your weirdness. Embrace that you are full of opposites, contradictions. Nothing about you is, how do you say that? You cannot pinpoint it down to a single thing. It's just like maybe a chaos of some sort. And that's alright. That's nothing you should be ashamed about, or you should try to hide, or you should try to overcome, to teach yourself otherwise. But embrace it instead. Even if it's just for yourself, for now. Before you go out with it in the world. But I think it's still, I would love to see all the weirdness of the people around. And I see in my everyday life, I see how people are trying to hide their weirdness. Trying to, keep it small, that little freak that's inside of them. And are trying to hide the very fact that they've been children and had some expectations on life. Because at some point they were just taught that that's kind of embarrassing. You should be grown out of this fantasy. And I think that's really, really wrong. Okay, I think that's it. I hope you liked this reading. I hope you're doing great. I hope you have a great time. You're in a good space, or at least you're heading towards a good space. Or maybe not. Maybe I actually hope that you are heading towards a really, really, really dark place where you can learn a lot about yourself or about others. And grow from that. I don't consider dark spaces as something to be avoided. That's pretty much the opposite. So, have it good, tune back in, and bye.